think that happened the last time when. Oh, there we go.
Hello, welcome back to the Network Effect. My name is Fred Robinson. We're here today at Greenwood Park Gallery and Framing. And one thing that we do here, and we've always done here, is support Milwaukee-based artists. So this aspect of the podcast is the creative aspect. I wanted to introduce you guys to a local artist by the name of Richard Badger. Hey, man.
What's up?
Nothing much. How you doing?
I'm doing
Appreciate
all
it.
right. How you feeling?
I'm great, man. I'm
Good.
great. I
Good.
appreciate you in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Just to give you a little history of Richard and I, years ago, he just stumbled into the gallery and just didn't have any idea what was behind that door.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
Then he was going to participate with the gallery, and then I couldn't find him. But then circle back 2 years later, 3 years later, he's back with us. So he's a great guy, great artist, and we want to just kind of hear about what you do, man, and hear about yourself and how you got into what you do.
Yeah.
So kind of start with your life as a child. Are you from Milwaukee?
Yes, I am born and semi-raised in Milwaukee. I grew up here up until I was about 8, 9. Then we moved around a lot, moved to Omaha, Nebraska, out of all places, and then moved back my sophomore year of high school. And then after high school, I moved back to Omaha. From Omaha, I was in Colorado, Wyoming, Jersey, Philly.
Right.
Then truck driving, and then I'm back here.
Okay. Yeah. Well, welcome back. That's a lot of experience. So would you say all the moves you made, would you say that has influenced who you are as a man now?
Absolutely. I think that I tell people, if you can, get out and have a context of Milwaukee. I think that a lot of people stay in Milwaukee, and Milwaukee is a great place, but I think when you go somewhere else and you live somewhere else and you live in that environment, it brings out different aspects of you. The environment flows in a different way. The weather's different. The people are different.
Right.
The way they talk is different. And so then you have to stretch yourself to start understanding that way of life.
Right.
And you see a different version of yourself.
Right.
And seeing those different versions and aspects of myself definitely added some context or perspective to who I am today.
Right.
The way I dress, the way I talk, the way I dance, the way I do everything.
Right.
So yeah.
Now would you say that has helped you in your creativity as an artist?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about that.
So I mean, I was in Omaha, Nebraska when I started painting.
Okay.
And I remember I had I had a job as a waiter, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, oh my God, I want to paint. I had gotten to meet this a couple of these artists, and he was an older black artist, and I can't remember his name, but he told me, he was like, yeah, everybody's an artist, but you can't really claim it until you live it. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna go get some paint. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I have this vision in my head.
Right.
And I actually sketched some drawings on my notepad while I was a waiter.
Right.
And then that night I went home and got some clearance canvases and painted it out.
And started.
Yeah.
So basically, your creativity didn't come out in you until you moved away.
Well, no, I mean, I was a kid drawing on walls. And, everything, getting in trouble for, messing stuff up and just trying to figure out how things worked. But yeah, I was always very creative. I was drawing in notebooks when I was a kid, and all these things pretty well. But yeah, I was always a creative. it.
Right, but
you
that
know?
was kind of the straw that broke the camel back. That's
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
started really taking it
Yeah,
serious.
absolutely.
And then when you took it serious, did you go get any formal education, or you just
No. I think that art is interesting. Your formal education is the art that's reflected around you. Yes, you can understand terms and value and brightness and hues and saturations, but there's an aspect of art that is just to connect to
right?
people. And you listen to what connects to you.
Right.
And you draw from that and you feel that and you like, oh, I like that. I like that sound. I like if I take a picture, I like how that looks, you know, and you follow that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you have an internal art compass of your own.
Right.
And yeah.
You know, I right. And I agree.
Yeah.
Because I've learned that about myself, and I learned that about just people talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't even call it art. I would call it creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone's watching you draw or seeing your artwork, they probably say, I can never do that. But I think we all have some portion of creativity inside us, but we just have to tap into it.
Yeah.
If it's creative thinking, right? It's not even just drawing.
Yeah.
It could be, you can be a decorator, you can
Mm-hmm.
be everything. And having an art gallery, I really encourage everybody to get into some type of creativity,
Mm-hmm.
because it really comes from your soul and your heart, whatever it is. So that's nice. So that's nice. So then now you're in you're out of town. You meet the
Mm-hmm.
gentleman, and then
Mm-hmm.
and then you start growing as an artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you come back here, right? You come back here, and do you continue that or not?
So in between then, I actually moved to Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, and in Jersey, I was living in South Jersey, and I was there with my partner at the time, and I was still painting, and then we only lived like 2 hours from Philly.
Okay.
And so I was uploading my art to Instagram, and a Philly artist, he was making a collaborative gallery show called Black Boy Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first gallery experience. He invited me. He loved my art. Yeah.
Now, how would you say that market is versus the market here?
Philly is a beautiful city. Philly has such deep roots with art, with music, and especially Philly's a lot bigger of a city than Milwaukee. There are so many ways to meet and develop community around theater, around music, and people out there are willing to create with you.
Right.
I think that Philly is just a different vibe. Philly is a different vibe.
Right.
But yeah.
Now, would you say people here are willing to create?
Absolutely.
Different artists? Yeah.
I feel like different ways. It's Milwaukee, and I'm still trying to figure it out. I've only been here for a year and a half, and I haven't exactly extended myself outward. But there is a lot of a creative hunger here. There's a lot of creative talent here, and I am just always blown away. You know, I see some amazing things, and I'm like, God damn! Like, oh my God! Like, who would have knew Milwaukee had all of this beautiful talent?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, the seeds are definitely here.
Right.
Seeds are definitely here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, we want to try to keep them seeds growing,
Absolutely,
so they can blossom here.
Yeah, and I mean, you come to places like this where you have a lot of local art that's so beautiful, and once again, you have those aha moments, like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that was here. You know, I watched the way my friend Jacob dresses, and I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. And I hear so many great singers here, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, it's all here. So yeah, I mean, yeah,
it's a big influence.
It definitely is a big influence.
So now your style, what would you consider your style as?
My art style?
Yes.
I would call this Afro-modern geometric art. I've always called it that. That's the best way I can really describe it.
Afro-modern geometric.
Yeah. Okay. Even though I think it's more based in Art Deco,
right,
sort of feel. Okay. But yeah.
Now, when artists, and specifically yourself, when they're being creative, as they're growing as a creative, do they have different styles? Do they have to fall into their style? And that's one question. But then the second question is to you: has this always been your style? Have you had other styles, and now this is your final style?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it happens for different people in different ways. So I can only speak to my perspective.
Okay.
But my style has definitely tweaked and changed as I've changed.
Right.
You know, I think that my art definitely comes from my experiences, me. And so a lot of themes in my art, you'll see sort of progress and change over time
Right.
with me. But I mean, this is a art style that I have. I
Okay.
definitely draw and doodle and do graphic design and
Okay.
love to work with typography and do photography. And so all of those things feel a little different. But yeah, this has been sort of my art style for a little bit.
Right.
But it has also changed.
Now you mentioned photography. Also, tell us. You do photography. You also do woodworking as well. So kind of you like our other guest Michelle. She has a long resume.
Yeah.
You have one as well.
Yeah.
So kind of give us your resume, man.
So yeah, I mean, photography. I used to dance professionally in Omaha for the Omaha Academy of Ballet.
Okay.
Contemporary. Then I paint. I've recently picked up sewing, woodworking, graphic design, singing. Grew up singing in church. I do music production as well. So I mean, yeah,
I'll do it. Yeah. So yeah, that's dope. So now, I asked because I'm a tradesman and my dad was a tradesman. A few family members was a tradesman. So I was influenced by people I loved and I was surrounded around. Now, do you have creatives in your family? And
yeah,
okay.
I mean, my great grandfather was a carpenter.
Okay.
And I mean, he made everything from chairs to ceilings to bookshelves to you name it. My grandmother wasn't exactly a creative, but her decor inspired me.
Right.
She used to have so many like African masks and busts. And a lot of my paintings and my pieces, they're usually elongated, and some of them, have like the little triangles on the chest and everything. That felt so black, that felt so natural, that felt so home, that felt so, Africa to me. Right. And the colors that I use are a little bit of a vintage feel to it. Okay. And so, I loved it. Even the murals around Milwaukee inspired me. But creatives, so decor, carpentry, singing, jazz, all of that.
Yeah. You had someone up close on you that inspired you.
Yeah.
So okay. So now let's get into a few of your pieces here. So we can start to the one on the far left here. So explain that piece and what inspired that.
So this is a piece that's called "I'm Keen on It." Keen is an awareness.
Okay.
I'm aware of it, and this is a piece that invites the audience. I usually start with the question: "Is like, what do you see? What's the story here?" And people will make up a story. And the piece is basically about how we are always communicating all the time. Our body language, the space we take up, the space we don't take up, the distance between us, the way we cross our legs, hold our hands. All of those things are always communicating something to you. And you see space in this piece. You see somebody talking. You see someone answering. You see someone's body language pointed towards someone. You see body language pointed away from someone. And I'm keen on it is not just to be aware of this piece and their body language, but then it also causes you to be aware of your own and what you're communicating with the space you're taking up, with the things that are unsaid. Yes, they have words, but you can't exactly understand the words. But sometimes somebody talking a lot can really tell you something outside of those words.
Right,
It's
right.
asking you to see the layer of language
Right.
underneath just the verbal.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, with that piece and these other pieces, or any other pieces, is there a method to how you like you described that, right? But then you named it. So do you name it first and then you draw it, or do you draw it and then you name it?
No, not at all. It's more of a drawing than naming.
Okay.
I think sometimes a lot of times I'll just be painting and it'll start to come to me.
Right.
The meaning, the feeling, the vibe
Right.
of it. And then I'll have an experience with it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh,
Right.
yes. All right. I understand behind the words with myself. And then I'll sort of imbue the painting with that energy. And then I'm like, oh, yes. Okay.
Right.
This is what it means.
Do it ever change midway through the drawing? Like you may say in the middle of the drawing, this is the name of it. But then you know, because creativity, as you draw it may take you anywhere.
Absolutely.
And then you may say, no, I don't want to name it this. I want to name it that. Do that ever happen?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There are some paintings that I've painted that I'm like, I'm gonna paint over this. I'm gonna paint over this. I think that each one of my pieces I have like a relationship with. Like, you know, these are my babies. These are something that I've seen from infancy to maturity, into which I release them out into the world. Right. You know, so I have a relationship with these pieces. You know, these things have changed. All of them really changed through time.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
But yeah.
And then how about this piece here in the middle here?
I forget the name of this piece all the time. Okay. But this piece was a fun piece for me. It was one of my first pieces that I've done with 2 different canvases. It's about sort of community and family for me. I'm gay, I'm queer, and growing up, I never saw like representation for gay people or queer people having a family. You know, it was always, you probably just have a boyfriend or, a partner, and that was it. So I really wanted to imagine myself having a family, having a future. And this was at a time where I was really like, okay, I can imagine myself having a future. I can nurture it. This is gold paint. And I didn't want to have language in my paintings at all, but I always loved symbols for like families or family crests and everything. And then this is a sort of family tree. The points at the different ends mean different things. The triangles, the points mean marriage or spousal. The squares mean like sibling. And then the tiers are representing generations. Right. If you get close, these are all drawn in marker. And I did that because they would fade over time. Right. Like portraits. Right. And outlined in gold. But yeah, and so this is a piece that definitely changes over time. The sort of color in the back reminded me of like older people walls, like growing up. And then if you look close, there's a texture inside of it, because I remember like a lot of walls being textured and waves and everything. And that makes me feel very ancestral. That makes me feel, so I decided to introduce that into the painting.
Yeah, man, I think it's so dope how artists like such as yourself, man, they can just write stuff, put stuff on paper, and it means something. You know, it's like an author, right? It's like you're writing a book, because you give a description of what that meant and what the meaning of that one and this one here. So with that said, what about this one here? Tell us about this one.
That is about awakening. I think that I started that piece and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna just paint. It started with this sort of like plumish brown color in the bag, and I was like, I'm gonna put some green, and it felt like an avocado to me. I was like, this is ugly, but this is also it. Like, this is also beautiful, that green cutting that, but also pairing with it so well. And ended up putting the brown there, and usually I'm a stickler for like really define lines, and the gold, I just decided just to paint.
Right.
And the feeling of that freedom felt good. It felt good to not be so hard on myself and so controlling about presentation. And I used to be such a perfectionist with everything. I gave myself space to be a perfectionist with some of those lines, but then there's a light at the top, which represents like, an awakening, an illumination. And, you know, I wanted that to sort of shine down on this person as they're existing in that illumination, this self-awakening, this place where they can exist and however they want to, within their constraints, without their constraints, and it can be all one sort of whole person. I think that's who we all are. We all are so, we have such a dichotomy to us that exists.
So now this is called Awakening, and you did this year and a half ago?
No, I did this probably about 3 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now when you, as you describe what it means, it's an awakening. Do that awakening still exist within yourself?
Absolutely.
Okay. Tell us about it, because I mean, it's been 3 months, and you know, like you thought that during the moment you were drawing it, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that you still would be awakened by whatever inspired that to you?
Yeah. I mean, I have different awakenings,
right?
And they all pair with different parts of my life and the things. I think that as long as we live, we'll always be having different awakenings. But this one in particular was an addressing of my wholeness. I think that I'm so in my mind with a lot of things. And I think things over about 5 times before I express them. Right. But there's a part of your humanity that just causes you, and it necessitates you to just express, and to do it the other way around, you know. And after you express, then you feel. After you feel, then you understand, and after you understand, then you draw some sort of logic, some sort of meaning from it. But until you do both of those in tandem, yes, you can think a lot of ways, but you also need to feel. That's why I took a month off from social media and from my smartphone. It got me a little flip phone, and I just did that for a month, because I think that my social media, my smartphone, was how I stopped myself from feeling the uncomfortable feelings, the sadness, the depression, the you know, the grief, you know, but also it was stopping me from experiencing some joy, and some great moments and some happiness, you know. So I was like, I want to feel, and so I gave myself that month off, and I made space for myself, you know.
So with that said, we want to end this portion of the interview, but before we do that, can you tell the audience where they can reach you, and where, if they're looking for your art, where they could maybe purchase your art from?
Absolutely. Well, you can always come down to the gallery, Greenwood Park Gallery and Framing, to look at my art. Also on Instagram, I upload a lot of my photography, my film photography, digital, some poetry every now and then. At Only Yote, that's ONLYYOTE. And you can also find a lot of my other work at coyoterich.com. So that has all of my things. And
appreciate you, brother, man. Much love to you. So, and then just keep up the good work, man. You inspire me, and hopefully you inspire some of our audience, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
But thank you. That's Richard Badger. All right. So we'll be right back with Chantel Bacchus and Charles Burgess. Thank you.